Siddhis are those tools which come during the process of meditation, Dhyanam. They are automatically incorporated in the Atma during the process of meditation, because the Atma Sakshatkaram, Brahma Tattva, Brahma Dhyanam requires the pure Atma, an absolutely purified Atma, before it merges with him. These siddhis will help an Atma for its purification and finding easy path towards Brahma Sakshatkara and the rightful path. Is reinforcing the capabilities of the Atman It is the Dhyanam that reveals from within the Atman. It is the assistance to put its efforts in order to attain the Brahman. Therefore, these siddhis act by its own will to the Atma who is constantly in the path of Brahma Sakshatkara. If the Atma doesn't have a firm determination and the path towards Brahman, they get attracted to these siddhis, which are very powerful and can be used for various bhautik, materialistic benefits. An Atma which is not pure and doesn't have a firm conviction, traveling towards the Brahman, will have some ego left out in it, and this ego will be the cause of attraction towards such siddhis to be utilized for the necessity of fulfillment of the desires of physical, materialistic benefits in life. There, the yogi drifts down towards the beginning of life again. Therefore, a maturity or a firm conviction, a firmness, sthita prajna to the mana, sthita prajna to the Atman is necessary for one to have these siddhis. Otherwise, he will be tempted to misuse them. They are very attractive. They are very powerful and attractive. And they become very handy at a point of time during the process of Dhyanam. It is also a testing method to the Atman for its strength to handle such siddhis. Once the Atma is not attracted to such siddhis and sticks to its own path of Brahma Sakshatkaram, utilizing these siddhis for its assistance of Atma Sakshatkaram or Brahma Sakshatkaram, they merge into the Brahman. They merge into the truth. They merge into the Purusha. A true liberation takes place at that point of time. Therefore, a person who gets into the path of Dhyanam, the path of spirituality, has to have the power of discrimination, and it should be firm in his understanding so that he doesn't deviate from the path and the goal of layam into the Brahman, layam into the truth, layam into the Dhyanam, layam into the Satyam. Such siddhis, when we are talking, last sloka we explained about the Ashta siddhis one will come across during the process of one's meditation, through samyama. One can deviate its path only for particular purpose of attainment of certain siddhis, or can attain Brahma Sakshatkaram through tapasya. An Atma which is not fulfilled its materialistic desires and attachments and attractions will always be dragged towards the attractions of bhautik jivan, materialistic jivan, where these siddhis will be beneficial for him to get certain materialistic benefits, for acquiring things that he desires. But one should understand that such utilization will remain in him, such capabilities will remain in him only for a period of time. After that, it automatically vanishes because of his not constantly practicing towards the spirituality. So the siddhis are such. So one should very clearly understand that during the process this all happens. As I told you last time, during the process of churning of the Kshira Sagara, many things come. Many are supposed to be rejected. Many are supposed to be neglected. Many are supposed to be accepted. Many are supposed to be distributed. This discrimination power has to have, one should have this discrimination power, the one who is churning that Kshira Sagara of life. The one who is churning the mind, the one who is in the process of churning of the self or Atma Sakshatkara for the purpose of Atma Sakshatkara, he should have a firm awareness, a firm knowledge, firm capability, sthita prajna, in order to accept only those which are absolutely necessary for the purpose of Atma Sakshatkaram or Brahma Sakshatkaram. The others are, as I told, some of them have to be neglected, some of them have to be rejected, some of them have to be distributed, some of them have to be gifted. They are of various categories. This discrimination power comes only through the process of studies of scriptures and Vedic science, Vedas and Upanishads. That's called the Brahma Dhyanam, which is known as Brahma Dhyanam. This is for a Jnana Yogi. Now, none of these path, none of these benefits, none of this Jnanam will be required at the moment of layam into the Brahman, layam into the Parabrahma Jnanam, Parabrahma Tattva, Parabrahma Sakshatkara. At that point of time, nothing is necessary. They are all upadhis, they are all instruments, they are all things that supporting one to reach the point of layam. At the point of layam, everything gets renounced, or one has to renounce in the sense, at that point of time, that which is going into the layam, into the Atman, Brahman, will not have any desire of attraction or attachment towards any of these siddhis or any of the results of siddhis that is acquired. Is the tattva, is the principle of any tapasya, any Brahma Sakshatkaram, any end result of spirituality. We said about the Rupa Lavanya, one of the siddhis. Great saint, when he is on tapasya, his body has a lavanya of its own, a power of its own, a projection of its own, a shakti of its own, an immense attraction. That attraction which gives anyone great amount of peace, Dhyanam, and amazement of the projection of the knowledge. That is called the Lavanya. That beauty comes to him during the process of tapasya. His body unintentionally, he, from his Atma, the Antaratma, as well as the Parabrahma, Sakshatkaram in him, projects that through his physical body to the externalities. So anybody coming in presence of that body gets amazed by that immense brightness, shining brightness of that prakasham, immense transmission which makes one intoxicated, which makes one loses all his senses, which makes one gets dragged towards that object from where this amazing Chaitanyam is projected. That is called the Lavanya. That's called the Rupa Lavanya. The Rupa, in any stage, the meaning of Rupa Lavanya is the same only. That Rupa should be giving peace, Dhyanam, and absolute renunciation, absolute sthita prajna. The qualities of these should be derived from the Rupa Lavanya. That is why it is known as the Rupa Lavanya. Even when you see in the Bhautika Jivan, when you look at something which is beautiful, stunning beauty, they said, you get stunned by the beauty. In the sense, absolutely, none of your senses are functioning at that point of time. You are absolutely frozen, stunned. Yes, stunning beauty. That's why it is known as stunning beauty. Your all other senses will absolutely freeze, or all other senses will come join together and then become one, which doesn't allow you to get attraction towards anything else, and which makes you absolutely contented with that alone, which makes you absolutely happy to be associated with that alone, and you are in peace and happiness, in an amazement at that point of time, is called a stunning beauty. That's what has got the Rupa Kanti, Sharira Kanti, they said, of a yogi, a jnani, a tapasvi, a great guru. That's how the attraction takes place towards that. And through that attraction, that Sthita Prajna automatically comes, and one is ready to receive anything that is given at that point of time. Is how the blessings, the vara, when the vara is given, the one who is asking for vara is receiving that vara, is because his state is absolutely stunning. Where there is no other activity happening in him, he receives that vara absolutely perfectly well. Like Kunti prayed to Bhagavan Surya, wanting to try to utilize the mantra given by Durvasa, pleased with the services of Kunti at that point of time when she was minor. When she tried Bhagavan Surya with that mantra, without an expectation, amazement, the Bhagavan Surya presents himself, and she's absolutely stunned, doesn't know what to do. That is the time the vara is received. It's called stunning beauty. It's called Rupa Lavanyam. It's not that what we understand about the Rupa Lavanyam. It's not according to the Rupa Lavanya is not based on your fascination of your attraction of mind and intelligence. No, that's not called Rupa Lavanya. That you can call something else. That is your desire, because they are not. That's not constant. Your acceptance of Rupa Lavanya, or the beauty, concept of your beauty at a particular time and particular age, particular era, particular moment, particular situation, particular emotion, they are different. Each time it is different. That means it is not the objective, it is the subjective, it is in you, that you are thinking about the beauty, that is depending upon your status of that mind, of presence of mind. When you get attracted, that depending upon the desire, depending upon the fulfillment of desire, you get an attachment or an attraction or a perversion of attraction. We call it as beauty today for materialistic way of. Whereas that is not called Rupa Lavanyam. The Rupa Lavanyam is constant, unchangeable. When a yogi is Sharira, when a yogi is presence, when a yogi is Dhyanam, when a yogi is Chaitanyam and Prakasham is present at a point of time which is unchangeable during any number of yugas and years pass through, it doesn't take, the same thing remains. It's called Lavanyam, Rupa Lavanyam. In the true sense, yes, but here we use also for the Bhautika Jiva, we use it for different purposes. In the similarities are drawn, these words, they are all scientific. They are all scientific in the sense Upanishadic, but they are used for the Bhautik Jivan, that's all. But then we lost the track of the true meaning of these words which we are normally using in our day-to-day life for different purposes. We are distorting the total meaning of it actually by addressing something with a different attitude and aptitude. So, Rupa Lavanyam, Balavat, so, Balam. Rupa Lavanya, Balava, Bala, Vajra, Samhanatvani, Kaya Sampatha. Okay. beloved. Fine complexion, that means fine complexion, that's called a complexion. We have, especially we in our country, have got a very wrong perception of complexion. What is called a complexion? What is called complexion? As far as we are concerned, normal Bhautika Jivan is concerned, it's only some kind of, as I told you, it is an attraction towards one's own mind. That the complexion means here. we here in our normal ways we call it as the color of skin, which is very temporary and superficial, external, insignificant, which keeps on changing from day in and day out, from every day. From small baby to the old man, keeps on changing hundreds of times. How many number of layers? The 7 layers of the skin keeps on changing in 21 to 3 to 41 days. The whole layers are changeable. All the cells are dead. Every time the external cells are dead and we are, they are all peeling off. Like you see that the snake peels off the skin, we also peel some of these things. So the complexion is we in Bhautika Jivan or materialistic meaning, complexion is that the color of that, whatever it's called, the complexion, complexity. It's not a complexion. The meaning of complexion itself doesn't mean anywhere that it is a color. Does it mean complexion? It's a complex. What's it complex? Complex is according to me, complex is a confusion or a controversy of, acceptance of certain objective material and different projections. It's a complexity, a complex, an inferiority complex we say, a superiority complex we say. It's a perception of the mind. The mind looks at an object and looks at a person, looks at a skin. They say that, oh, that complexion which I like, so the complexion is good. Whether it is black, whether it is white, whether it is brown, whether it is grey, for each one it has got its own complexion. Each one is accepted depending upon the minds. The mind again is depending upon the egoistic way of acceptance. Depending upon the function of the indriyas, the egos, the egoistic approach, depending upon the desire one has got in the mind, the complexity also changes. So the complexion is that which is Chaitanyam, we should call it. It is that which is permanent. That complexion which we say of that which should be created in our system. We say that, we also say that sometimes. It's glowing. You are glowing, your skin is glowing, and all that we say. But we specify them. Your face is glowing. Your skin is glowing. We specify them. But it is glowing. So what is that? Complexion is a glow. A glow which, what is the true glow? Not by artificial material you glow, or by birth if you have got a particular color to your skin. It's not a glow. It's a color. Color is different, glow is different. Complexion is not a color, complexion is glow. During tapasya, in tapasya, a great tapasvi, again I go back to the tapasvi, his sharira kanti, his chaitanyam of that sharira, his brightness of that sharira, projection of that kanti, chaitanyam from his sharira The glow of that Sharira is immense and can blind one sometimes. It is so powerful it is. It's glowing with the Dhyanam. We call it as, some people call it as energy. It's not an energy which is pumped in and which is glowing. The glow happens with Dhyanam. The glow happens with Brahma Sakshatkaram. The glow happens with Brahma Tattva, Brahma Jnanam. The glow is that glow which makes one comfortable. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, when he did the Shavadara, when he did the Vishwarupa Darshana given to Arjuna, it is told, it is written in the Puranas, it is written in the Puranas. The yogis and tapasvis and the atmajnanis, brahmajnanis, others have found it is so pleasant and bright and blessing, and then everything is getting attracted and attached to that great glow of that Vishwarupa. Just simple words, what is written I am just telling you. All those people who had been in the right path and positive sense, they all could feel happiness, they all could feel the great blessing, they all could feel great promotion towards the absoluteness or to the merged layam towards that Brahman. They could witness the Brahman at that point of time. And whereas on the other side, he has written there in that description, the sinners, the papis, and the people who are doing sin, they found they are boiling in the high temperature of water, and they are suffering and they are feeling as if pins and needles are being pressed into the body, or they are being so uncomfortable. They were really struggling to keep surviving, as if the heat is being generated so high that their bodies could not sustain, the system could not sustain, they were suffering so much. You understood what I am saying? This is called the complexion. What is that? Chaitanyam. That Chaitanyam, when it is projected, people concerned towards that get attracted towards it, whether it is suffering or whether it is enjoyment, both get attracted towards that. So the ones who has got the similarities of that Chaitanyam will enjoy that Chaitanyam. The others will have the repercussions of their papa will being reflected on that, will have that papa in the sense. Again, that is called the blessing and the shapa also. One can say that's called the blessing and one is shapa. The blessing and shapa happens depending upon one's own experiences, one's own karmas. The one who has done the excellent karmas and get the presence of the great saint and great jnanis, you feel that blessed. The others, when they face them, they feel that they are cursed because they suffer by meeting them. This is how it happens. So the complexion, the true meaning of complexion is that where we are using it for various different purposes. That's why we say that the complex, inferiority complex or superiority complex, there's also some other word. That's the status of mind. When the mind is not in its own projection, in its own capability of accepting the prakasha from the antaratma, the mind is suffering. So we call it as inferiority complex. When the mind is overpowered by its own intelligence and appreciating its own activities, whether it is good or bad, we call it as superiority complex. But both are destructive. Both are destructive, is it not? It's an understanding, it is a misunderstanding. An inferiority complex is also destructive, a superiority complex is also destructive. Superiority is different, superiority complex is different. Inferior is different, inferiority is different. Yes. And inferiority is different, inferiority complex is different. One who is not inferior, he is feeling inferior, is called inferiority complex. One who is not superior, feeling superior, is called superiority complex. Both are destructive, because both are not true. Even inferior and superior is also not true. In which way one is superior, in which way one is inferior. This can be told only by Lord or by the great tapasvis and jnanis who are really superior, but they never call themselves as superior. They have never felt others as inferior. This is the true superior. The one who does not feel he is superior, the one who did not see others inferiority in others, is called superior. Is a true superior. The one who sees inferiority in others is not superior. He has superiority complex. Now you know what is complexion now. Everything is wrong here. No, that's what we are using. Nothing of them is meaning here as far as the tattva is concerned, principle is concerned. In principle, the beauty, lavanya, the beauty or the complexion, fine complexion, a fine complexion. The fineness of complexion. Why it is fine complexion? What is fine complexion? Coarse complexion. Is something like that. There is nothing. No fineness and coarseness. No. Why the superlative of qualifying the complexion as fineness? And that complexity, there is a fineness in that where you do not get hurt. It's a fine complexion. When a superior being superior, a guru, a tapasvi, a jnani, a maharshi, Bhagavan himself, when he is superior, when he comes to you, he does not make you feel that his presence is uncomfortable, rather than you feel blessed his presence. It's called fine complexion of him. That fineness make you comfortable. It's called fine complexion. According to me, I am making my own statements rather. This is the fine complexion. That which makes you absolutely peaceful. That's why I said before itself. The one that makes you absolutely peaceful, that makes you happy, that makes you forget everything, stunned being there. Somebody says, in presence of him I forgot everything. I wanted to tell, but I forgot everything. Why? Stunned. Because of the fine complexion or the beauty or the absolute projection of the great Chaitanya from him makes your senses absolutely functioning in reality, in truth. All your senses are in truth. Our senses are in reality and functioning with the Brahma Tattva, Brahma Jnanam, is why that stunning effect has taken place. That which is an amazement to the mind, so that an amazement to the mind will make the mind absolutely freeze, so that the mind does not initiate any thought, any attraction, any desire, any attachment at that point of time. Is called stunned. Stunning. So freezing of mind takes place. Without you had tried thousands of times of meditation, mind could not be controlled and stopped, but by presence of one great tapasvi, a jnani, who projects himself or his rupa, lavanya in presence of you, his complexion, fine complexion in presence of you, a fraction of a second, all your organs, all your physical organs, all your materialistic organs, all your indriyas, all your mana, everything becomes absolutely merged with the absolute jnanam. Is why you get that happiness and peace and a stunning effect of that in you. That presence itself makes you so much so. Suppose you feel you transform yourself, you make your own layam into that. What will be the happiness in you? What will be the peace in you? What will be the Dhyanam in you? All that is. You understand what I am saying? That is why it is known as a fine complexion. And then he said strength, balam, balavan. Chama, Purusha Lakshanam, is it? Purusha here is not the man, as I told you, there is no gender in Vedanta when it is being discussed. Purusha is what? Purusha is Atma. Purusha is that Purusha, Ishvara. Purusha and Prakriti, that Purusha is. Chama, Purusha Lakshanam. Chama is the Lakshanam of the Purusha. Why this is told in the materialistic way, in materialistic science or materialistic Jivan, this doesn't have a place at all, practically. But this proverb or this mantra is told. Why? Because Atma is equivalent to Purusha. So the mana and the self has to be equivalent to Purusha. In a Purusha, there is no agitation. I don't have to qualify it Shama, Purusha Lakshanam. No, don't have to qualify. Because Purusha itself is Shama. Purusha itself is Jnanam. Purusha itself is Parabrahman. Purusha itself is Prakriti. Purusha itself is Karma. Purusha itself is Laya. Everything is itself. So why should I say Shama, Purusha Lakshanam? No. When you look at it, it's not necessary. But it is told that Shama, Purusha Lakshanam. Why? Because strength in a person, the Shakti, Balam. Balam can be various balas are there. Mano bala, Sharira bala, we tell lot of balam we classify, Mano balam, Sharira balam and all that. Balam, the true meaning of the balam is Shakti. What is Shakti? That which can resist anything is called Shakti, is it not? That's all simple. It's not necessarily the hardness of the material. Steel is very hard, but it can be melted with fire. Any strong steel can be melted in fire, no problem. In furnace, it can be melted. There is nothing that is not changeable. So Balam, what is Balam? Balavan, muscular Balam. Okay, we can classify Balam, use the word Balam for purpose of understanding, fine, that language is okay. That's why I say Vakyartham as well as in this one cannot be. You cannot go by Vakyartha when we are talking about the Vedanta and Upanishads. They are all with a perception has to be there. There's thousands of miles we have to travel behind that, below that, behind that, beyond that. Then only we will know why this word has been used here. Balavan is that who has enormous Shakti. The one who can sustain anything and everything without changing the self's personality, without agitating the self, that without changing in the sense, without making any changes in the self's personality. That means without changing one's own status of mind, status of sharira, status of peace, status of jnanam, status of understanding, status of the being. It's called a Balavan. Balam is Shakti. Shakti is that. Shakti is not to destroy something, is not alone Shakti. That also can be called as Shakti, no doubt. Yes, it can be called as Shakti. It's a paryaya of Shakti. But the true Shakti is that which can sustain anything and everything without gaining any change in the status of the self is called the Shakti. Without having any change, without gaining any change, without being in a status of change, that should not make any change in our Dhyanam, agitate mind, mana, indriyas, mana, emotions. Nothing should make a change. That's called a Balavan. That's called Balam. Balam is that acquiring of Balam. That means, Bhagavan already told it, Balam is not a simple word to acquire. It's not that easy. The practice also may not. Dhyanam has to be there, tapasya has to be there. Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita has told that. Who is a Balavan? The one who is able to sustain anything and everything without any deviation to his own status is called a Balavan. Sustaining anything and any happenings, anything and everything that happens around him without deviation of the status of the self is called the Balavan. Balam is the one, that's why Kshama. How can you create that Balam? By Kshama. It's a tool, Kshama. That's why Kshama, Purusha Lakshanam, they said. Kshama is a tool for Balam. Balam is the ultimate aim of Kshama. Why we are doing Kshama? Why one should have Kshama? Kshama is meant for acquiring the Balam. Balam is that which is not changeable, which is not breakable, which is not meltable, which is not deviatable. Nothing can change it. That's why it is called a Balavan. In a tapasvi, nothing can change him. The Balavan is muscular balam, manasika balam, sharira balam, atma balam, or what we call as mano balam and all that. They all can be broken at one point of time or other. They are not the balam, even though we call them. Yes, we have to use a word. So we use the same word, that's all, for the sharira balam, one who is able to lift so much of weight, we say, oh, his sharira balam. It's a similarity towards that balam. But what is the true balam here in the Vedanta? Balam is that sustaining, able to sustain everything without change, without disturbing. Not that some people are very patient, looks externally very patient, but internally very agitated. Externally they will not say, they will say, oh, it's patience, so this, we call it as patience. Patience is very good, very high patience. But inside him he is highly agitated of that incident that is happening outside, but he is not expressing it. He is not showing it because of various reasons. One is because he is not strong enough to fight with, or he thinks that if he tells that he will become small or big, whatever it is, change of his position. Why should I interfere in? No, that's another status. Why not expressing? Like that, various situations, various statuses are there. Why he is not expressing it? In expression, there are so many things. One is fear of expressing, because the opposite is powerful, so it's better not to. One. Second is that neglect. I don't want to involve. Neglect. Third is that by my doing, what is going to be benefited, the result of it, looking at it. Like that, various factors will stop the person who is to express it. We call him externally very patient. That's not what we are talking about, the Balavan or Kshama. Kshama is that he should not get agitated at all, and he should be in a position, the Kshama Purusha Lakshana. First of all, Kshama, that we are nobody to excuse somebody. Let me tell you, you ask for pardon. Kshama, only the Ishwaratva, God Himself, or the embodiment of the God, Dhyanam, or the Gurus and Tapasvis and Jnanis, only can really do Kshama to the others. We do Kshama Prarthana to everywhere. Everybody cannot get the Kshama. What is Kshama? I have written long back about Kshama. There is a small booklet, I think. I have written about that long back. Even if somebody gives you Kshama, will you feel that I have been pardoned? There's a confession. Christ, in churches and all that, they go and do confess. Oh, Father, I have done this. No, I have did all sorts of these things. So this one and all, I am submitting everything to Father. No, please give me pardon. That okay. He also says on the other hand, okay, that it has been accepted, my son. No problem. God has accepted it. Please see that you don't do it anymore. No, Amen. 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 Both have said Amen, and when he comes out, he starts again, because he can confess again, come back and confess. This is the practice of confession that we have. That's not that. Confession should happen only once in lifetime or twice in lifetime. Understand what I'm saying? It is not an excuse to do sin. Confession people have made confession an excuse to do sin. Once I do sin, like Ganga Snanam. In Hinduism, we say Ganga Snanam. In Christianity, they say go out to the church and confess to somebody who himself is a sinner. I'm not joking, you are finding a lot of newspaper about the... Well, I'm not interested in that subject. I just drifted towards that. Kshama is nothing connected with that, Kshama is status that where we are in a position to absorb everything. Kshama. A child makes mistake. It's not that we do not practice it. We do practice it. A child makes mistake. We have no hatred towards him and we don't punish him. We correct him, but we don't punish him. We don't hate him. No? It's Kshama. It's all simple. This attitude has to be an inherent quality in you, then Kshama Purusha Lakshanam. That's called Ishvara. That's called the Guru. That's called the Tapasvi. That's called the Maharshi. That's called the Jnani. In him, he doesn't have any different feeling towards the one who has done the sin or not. He identifies them as the karmas being executed by the individual. It's a Kshama. Kshama Purusha Lakshana. That is a tool for Balam. That's the strength of him, you see. That strength, that's the Balam in him. Balam, that's why Purusha. Strength is that which doesn't keep him able to sustain anything and everything. Sustain is not that you have to accept the atrocities, no. I'm not saying that. People have many times they said, oh, some wrong thing is happening in front of my eyes. Do you think that I should have Kshama? He is misinterpreting Kshama to that. The word Kshama to that. It is not the Kshama. At that point of time you have to react. If you can save somebody, you should save somebody. It has nothing to do with Kshama. Neither you are pardoning the man who has done that crime. No, that is also not Kshama. Meaning of Kshama is totally different. No. Kshama is an emotion in you. Kshama is a characteristics in you, not emotion, sorry. Kshama is a characteristics in you, swabhava of yours. What is a Kshama then? You have to protect others in situations of such thing like that, but you do not get agitated. Your status should not change. Your mind should not change. What does it mean? Suppose you saw somebody doing a mischief. You get into fight with him or you kill him. Why? Because you got angry. No? and you kill that man. You have a justification. I saw him doing atrocities, so I killed him. He deserves it. It's a justification in the materialistic way of this. It's a logical conclusion. That's all mathematical or logical conclusion. That he did a wrong thing, I made a mistake. He did a mistake and you killed him. What you did? You did a mistake, so somebody should kill you. Now the chain will go like that, is it not? You understand what I am saying? What is that? You have to take appropriate action, whatever appropriate. Call some police, call the protector of the law, call the people, or call the people around, save the person, or whatever it is. No? Your status should not change is what I am saying. That's called Kshama. Your mind's status should not change. Neither you are creating a hatred there, nor creating an affection there. You act according to that situation. This is called Kshama. A yogi does it. A yogi does it. A person who has brought the balance to his mind through tapasya, through meditation, he brings that. He behaves like that, no doubt about it. You have to act, no doubt. But not by changing your state. You becoming angry means you have lost your control. That's it. That means that incident has changed you. This is what I am saying. Any incidents or any environment or anything, any happenings or anything that is external to you, you are able to sustain that which doesn't make any changes in your status is called Kshama, is called Balam, is called strength. That's a strength. Why did you lose your temper? Because you could not sustain that instigation to make you angry. Any instigation that makes you angry, any instigation that make you pralobhanam, we call it. That's called instigation. Any pralobhanam. It's the right word. Pralobha. Creating lobha in you. Last time I explained you what is pralobhanam. Lobham. You're feeling that scarcity in you. That creating that pralobhanam, that instigation by an external incident or an external thing, that makes your status changing. That means you are influenced by that. You are bribed by it in a much more smaller language we say that. You are instigated by that. And instigation can happen only to the mind which doesn't have a discriminative power. He's not a balavan. He's the most weakly. The man who gets angry is the most weakly. He's unable to control his own nervous system. Is why he's getting angry. Why he's getting emotional. Why he's getting this, that, and all that. That's not balam, according to Shastra. Bala is that able to see things, able to understand things, able to face things. Able to face things in a right manner, right place, right time, in a right way, which doesn't make any changes in my status. It's called, I think I've explained enough on that. No? Is it okay? I tried rather, I don't know whether I could do justice to that word, but I tried my best. Strength. That's called strength. This is called one of the siddhis. One of the siddhis is strength. One has to have the strength. Otherwise, how will I do meditation? If any small thing that happens to my thought, things like that, I get agitated. I'm not able to sustain it. How will I proceed further with my going? No. Every time something or other, starting from a mosquito to an elephant, each and everything will keep on troubling me, is it not? That's all. I'm not to be affected by that. It's called balavan. Balam is a siddhi. That balam has to be acquired by you. That's called shakti. You understood that? Not that you should not act or you should not react or things like that. You should act, but your status should not change. Your nervous system, your indriyas, your mana, your atma samparkam with the Brahman, your atma samparka with the Antaratma should not be delinked at any point of time. That's called Balam. Retainance of the link with your Antaratma at all times, at any circumstances, is called Balam. Keeping a status as it is called Sthita Prajna. It's called Sthita Prajna. The Sthita Prajna status is called Balam. It's beautiful, it is. How much we have to understand small things. And the absolute firmness is also very misunderstood word in our materialistic life. Absolute firmness. Oh, I am very firm in my decisions. What is the decision? That I don't want to tell you. Very firm, you know. This is what we feel about the absolute firmness. That's not the firmness. Then what is the firmness? The firmness is that I will not deviate from my path of right way of living, the dharmic way of living. Is firmness. I will not deviate from the path of dharmic way of living, in the sense the Dhyanam that is prevalent in me, the Dhyanam that is prevalent in the Brahman, in the Atma, that being transmitted to my mind and Indriyas, I will abide by that at all times. I will go with it at all times. I will not deviate my intention and purpose of life for petty interests of my attractions and attachments of the materials outside me, instigations by the individuals or materials outside me, incidents that is giving temporary pleasures, I will not get attracted to that. This is called absolute firmness. The firmness should be beneficial to you and your Atma. The firmness should not be destructive to you and your Atma and Sharira. Many of the materialistic decisions and firmness that we derive at is only for destructive purposes. I am firm, I will not talk to him. I will keep fighting with him. It's not called a firmness. I will abide by that. For which I am born is my responsibility, the only responsibility to have mukti, liberation from this. I will abide by that, I will keep on, so that it doesn't, as I told you, all those, whatever I have told now, not able to repeat. It's called a firmness. I will not deviate from that. For small petty interest of external environmentalist and incident-wise and materialistic or individuals or happenings or instances, that I will not get attracted to, and I will not change my intention of living the dharmic way for the purpose of liberation and merge with the Parabrahman, which is my prime intention of taking this birth itself, is called absolute firmness. Then only Dhyanam can be done. No? Oh, Shanti. We'll stop today. We'll take 48th sloka in the next class. 47 is finished. Oh, yeah. Oh.